Hey everyone, and welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Today, we're going to explore a really powerful idea together, what it means to choose mercy over judgment. So let's just jump right in with a story that, honestly, sets the whole stage perfectly. Then, sir, I will go with you. Now, just let that hang in the air for a second. What on earth would make someone who was just given their freedom immediately turn around and choose to follow the person who freed them? This one quote, well, it holds the key to our whole conversation today. So, where does that quote come from? It's from a story told about Abraham Lincoln. Picture this: he's at an auction, and he sees a young slave woman, and fearing what her life might become, he steps in, he pays her price himself, and then he does something truly remarkable. Okay, let's just walk through what happened here. So first, she's sold. Then Lincoln pays the price, and then he turns to her and says, "You are free. You can go wherever you want." And this, right here, is the crucial moment. Faced with complete, total freedom, her first reaction, with tears in her eyes, was to choose to follow him. Why? Why would she do that? It's because this story just brilliantly shows us a profound truth about the human heart. When a person is spared condemnation, when they're shown incredible mercy, the response isn't defiance, it's gratitude, it's love. Mercy doesn't push people away, it actually invites them in. And this exact same dynamic, this choice between judgment and mercy, is right at the center of another incredibly powerful story. Yet the same dynamic plays out in a really famous account from the Gospels, where you have a whole group of people totally united in their judgment, with stones in their hands ready to condemn. I mean, can you imagine the scene? It's incredibly tense. A woman caught in a very serious sin is literally dragged out into the open, publicly exposed and shamed. The crowd is absolutely certain they're unanimous and they are armed. They've got the stones, and they think they're about to carry out justice. But here's what's really going on under the surface. Their motive? It wasn't really about justice for this woman, not at all. This whole thing was a setup. It was a trap, designed to force Jesus into a corner, a no-win situation. But Jesus doesn't take the bait. He doesn't get into some big legal debate with them. Instead, he does something absolutely genius. He stoops down, and then he stands up and delivers this one line that completely reframes the entire situation. "Let the one among you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone." He just turns the spotlight of judgment right back on the accusers. And the effect is just immediate. It's profound. His words go straight to their conscience. And starting with the oldest, one by one, they drop their stones and they walk away. That angry, unified mob just dissolves. Not because of force, but because of a simple appeal to their own humanity. So now it's just Jesus and the woman. The threat is gone. And what happens next is so critical for us to understand because it reveals the true heart of grace. He offers her two things, and they are deeply connected. First, he says, "Neither do I condemn you." That is pure, undiluted mercy. But he immediately follows it with a clear challenge. Go, and from now on, do not sin anymore. So you see, it's forgiveness, but it's paired with a call to a new, better way of life. Let's think about it with a simple analogy. Condemnation takes a person's worst moment and says, "This right here, this is who you are." It basically locks the door and traps them in their mistake. But grace, what Jesus shows here, it does the opposite. It restores a person's dignity. It says, your mistake is not your identity. Grace is what opens the door for them to actually change. And this is just so crucial. A lot of times we can mistake mercy for being permissive, for just excusing bad behavior. But that's not it at all. True compassion, like we see here, is an invitation. It's the power that says, you are better than this, and I'm giving you the chance to prove it. It's an invitation to holiness. Okay, so this is a beautiful story, right? But what does it actually mean for us? How do we take this principle and apply it in our own lives, especially in our own homes and our daily interactions? Well, first we have to ask ourselves, what are our modern-day stones? I mean, they're probably not physical rocks. They might be those harsh words we use, or the snap judgments we make, or the gossip we share about someone. It could even be the silent criticism that we hold in our hearts against a family member or a coworker. And we have to be so careful because just like that crowd, it is so easy to get caught up in groupthink. When everyone around us is complaining about somebody, it feels really easy, even kind of right, to just join in. But this is such a powerful reminder. A crowd can be totally sincere and still be completely wrong. Just going along with it can silence our own conscience. So, what's the antidote to that? Well, a great spiritual writer put it perfectly with this quote: "It all starts with us." If we are really honest, really sincere in looking at our own flaws, it will naturally make us more charitable and understanding when we look at everybody else. So, here are 3 really practical steps. First, look inward. Before you criticize your spouse or your child, just take a moment to honestly check your own intentions and actions. Second, when you look outward, really try to see the whole person, not just their one mistake. And finally, speak with care. Guard your words. Let's choose to build people up rather than tear them down. And this brings us right back to where we started. Just like that woman who was freed by Lincoln, mercy is the power that truly sets people free. It frees us from our own sin, and when we offer it to others, it frees them from their shame and empowers them to choose a better path for themselves. So I'll leave you with this final thought to reflect on. Through your words, through your patience, and through your choice to show mercy instead of judgment, whose freedom are you holding in your hands today? Thank you so much for taking this time with me.